Fresh ginger is very versatile. In this episode, I took fresh ginger, I peeled it, then I crystallized it, I made cookies, I fermented some, made ginger syrup and ginger water. Whenever I see very large ginger like this at the grocery store, I always buy it because it is perfect for doing candied ginger or crystallized ginger, good for fermenting. You can also freeze ginger chunks. I learned that a spoon is the best way to peel ginger. So I like to use a small spoon that has a fairly thin edge on it because it's a little bit sharper. And see, it just comes right off. The spoon works really great, especially when it's very fresh ginger, because you can see how fresh it is. It's very moist and glossy right here under the skin. So it peels much easier. Now, when I get to these little nubs, I'll cut them off with a knife, but sometimes they might just pop off like that. This is the most tedious part, peeling the ginger. And when it's moist like this, you want to make sure you don't get it in your eye because it can sting. I'm going to keep an eye on the clock and see how long it takes to peel all this ginger. It took me about 25 minutes to peel all this. So what I do now is I cut off all these rough pieces and then I'm going to make it into smaller pieces for candy. And I'm also going to cut save aside some of the weird shapes for fermenting. I've separated these out. This is composting. These are the pieces I'm going to use for fermenting. This is my fermented garlic I already have going, and I will often include sushi ginger. If we get sushi takeout, there's often a lot more ginger than we would eat with the meal. So I just put it in this ferment, and then I have fresh ginger when I want to either just eat it like this or use it for a recipe. I am going to simply cut these up into rough, varied sizes, put it in a jar. So simple. Add a little salt, and then you cover it with water. And that's it. This will sit on the counter for 3 to 5 days, depending on the temperature of your space. And then after this, it goes into the refrigerator. For the candy, I like to have uniform size so that they all will cook the same. So I go for 1/4-inch slices, and then I will cut these smaller. The size overall will vary, but I try to go for about this size because if you want to eat this as a candy, this is about all you would want. If it's any bigger, it would be overpowering in your mouth. So I'm going to chop this all up and we're going to put it in a pot. So overall, let's see, between peeling and cutting these, it was about an hour. And I'm using a rainy day, although the sun is coming out now. I use the rainy day as a perfect time to do a project like this. These are the 3 pieces I'm going to freeze just like this so I can pull them out and use to grate in a recipe, and they'll be nice and firm because when it's frozen you can just grate it easily, and that's a nice way to add some zest to a recipe. Now we take this pot. Just want to show you all the pieces here. We're going to fill this with water, added enough water to cover the ginger, and we'll simmer for 30 minutes or 45 until they're tender. The ginger simmered for roughly around 40 minutes. What I do is I get a few pieces and I want the fork to be able to go through the ginger, not fall apart, not be too soft, because this is the first round. So I'm going to strain this. I'm going to keep some of the water to use in the next boil with the sugar. And I'm also going to keep some of this water to use to drink, because after it's cooled, it's a very nice flavored water. It's almost 6 cups of water. We're going to use equal parts sugar and water for the crystallized portion. Going to pour a little bit back in. Saving this. What's nice about this, you just need a little bit and you mix it with water and serve it over ice, and it's just very delicious. Add it to teas, very flavorful. I added in about 2 cups of the water from the first round. So I am adding the additional water, and it just covers the ginger. And I know it seems like a lot of sugar, but you'll see it is necessary. So I'm going to add in about 6 cups of sugar. Once I get it to a boil, I will let this simmer. Probably it'll take about 45 minutes, and we'll be able to see it at that point that it'll start to develop a syrup, and that's what we need. And then I save that syrup too, and it's essentially a simple syrup. The ginger has boiled, and now it is going to simmer at this pace for at least 30 minutes, up to 45, until a syrup develops and that the ginger gets even more tender. The amount of time it takes depends on the size of your ginger. So I just put the fork in and have a little bit of resistance. We're going to add more sugar. You just simply pour sugar over it. This recipe does use a lot of sugar. This is a critical step. There's no structured amount. I just add it till all of the pieces are nicely coated. Just going to put a dab more on. I know it's a lot of sugar, but you're not eating all of the sugar at once. Let me show you my process for drying. I use a baking sheet, and I have this. This is let me zoom out. This I use for pizza. I had to bend it so it would fit in my oven. That's why it's the shape. Normally it would just be a round, flat surface, but this fits in my oven this way. Anyway, so I use this. I put this on top of the baking sheet, and then I put the ginger on here and spread it out. And then the liquid drips through. I spread this out. It's important to get a single layer so that all of the pieces will dry. Sits out overnight, at least, so that this can all dry. And that's why it's important to really spread it out so they're not in large clumps. I'm going to let this sit overnight. I'll probably fuss with it a little bit more as the evening goes on, and we'll see. And then you'll see the drying process. And I'll keep tabs on how long this took. Here's a close-up shot. So it's important to get these, spread out as much as possible. But, if they stick together, it's fine. But it just is easier to dry when they're not clumped together. This is the sugary ginger syrup. And this is nice just like it is. But if you wanted it to be a thicker syrup, almost like a maple syrup consistency, this can be simmered longer. I think I'm actually going to simmer it longer. So I'm going to reduce it down. I'll strain it, and then that'll be used for the summer cocktails and beverages. It's been a few hours, and I want to just pop in here and show you that the ginger is still very wet, and you don't want it wet. This needs to dry thoroughly, and I'll explain in more detail when we wrap this up. I keep moving this around to open up the air and the clumps so that overnight this dries, and it's going to take a while. but it is worth it. So just keep an eye, if you're doing this, I'm going to pull in closer. You can see that this is damp. It's wet. You can tell that it's wet. So that needs to dry completely, and then it will be, you can just keep it in a jar for months. This is the ginger after an overnight drying. It is certainly drier, but it's not completely dry. I'm going to come in close. It still has a dampness to it. It has to be completely dry. So I'm going to let this sit out all day and then assess, and I might leave it out again overnight. I let the ginger sit for 2 full days. It has to be completely dry. And if I give it a little pinch, there's no moisture. And that's what you need, because any moisture left here in this, when you put it in a jar, that moisture will turn into liquid sugar. I know, because I did it the first time. So what I do is, now that it's dry, I just store it in a jar, and it doesn't need to be refrigerated. It just goes, I just put it right in my pantry closet, and that's it. Then we're going to make the double ginger cookie. I'm using this amount for the double cookie. I just want to show that this pizza screen is great for this process, and you can see all the sugar that dripped off. And then this just cleans up with warm water. I didn't need to show you how to make the dough. If you bake cookies, you know how to do that. But my process here is, I just use a large spoon. I scoop out the dough into balls. I give them all a roll. And there's 2 versions of this. You can just flatten these down and bake them like this, and my dear friend who gave me this recipe, that's the way she does it. And she actually made cookies yesterday and brought them over so we can look at both of them side by side. So after I roll these into a ball, I will roll them in sugar. And this sugar I really liked. It's the King Arthur sparkling sugar, and I've used most of it. So I only have a little bit of that left. But it's a coarse sugar. And after I use this, I'm going to go to regular. I roll the ball into the sugar. So I like to play around with aesthetics. So that's why I explored this route. So I do this, take a piece of parchment paper, and then I press the cookie down so that they're flatter. Not too flat. If you want them flatter, they will make if you want a crispier cookie, you just make them flatter. And that's it. I like to just sprinkle a little sugar on top. And then in the oven, and we'll take a look. Here are the cookies. Round with the sugar, rolled into bowls with the sugar on top. My friend who turned me on to the ginger cookies makes these. These are her cookies. These are mine. She swears that she doesn't do any different ingredients than mine, but hers are a different color. They taste the same, but yours may look a little bit darker. This is how it looks when you don't roll it into a ball and flatten it and add sugar. This I would call the plain version. This has a little bit more decoration. Totally not necessary. I was just playing around with it. So, very versatile, fresh ginger. This is the ginger syrup. This is great for cocktails, beverages. Add a little zest to your tea, iced tea, hot tea, to cocktails, maybe mojito, martini, any other fun summer drinks. A little bit goes a long way. This is the crystallized ginger, and I just leave it in the jar, in the cabinet, and it stays fresh for months. It's nice as just a little in between meals to freshen your breath, or a little sweet treat. Put it in cookies. Maybe there's some other recipes you can use it for. It makes nice gifts if you have little jars. It's a nice giveaway. I did the fermented ginger. I gave that to my friend who made these cookies. she took that fermented ginger. I gave her some syrup and also the ginger water because she's a huge fan of ginger. So there's lots of ways you can take advantage of fresh ginger, but try to buy that nice large ginger that feels very fresh. It's easy to peel and it's soft and it's still moist. That makes for the best ginger. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I have playlists on In the Kitchen, RV travel, RV tips, just regular episodes where we're out traveling. So please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.